The northeast of Nigeria is a populous country of unending beauty. It has some of the finest landscapes in the country and possesses vast and richly fertile agricultural land supported by multiple river systems. Within this mix is its rich diversity. The character and economic conditions of this ethnic and cultural diversity is defined in the main by their environment. The northeast is a picture of rugged and hostile terrains in especially parts of Taraba, Adamawa and Borno states. As a consequence, hundreds of communities are hard to reach and alienated on matters of development. In parts of Yobe and Borno, invasive desert environment moves out scores of people and takes over their settlements. Nigeria's northeast is also emerging from the effects of over a decade of insurgency. It is an upheaval that created mass dislocation, loss of livelihoods and loved ones. Against the background of their peculiar situations, the 6 states in the northeast identify with the programs of the Community and Social Development Project (CSDP) as a workable pathway to addressing their challenges of poverty and social infrastructure. This program is a partnership between the federal government and the World Bank, and it is about building new natural resources and infrastructure or rehabilitating them. By design, the program targets poor and vulnerable communities in the northeast and adopts a simple paradigm, the principle of bottom-up approach to development initiatives.
The CSDP approach, which is centered on community-driven development, where the groups, the vulnerable groups and the poor people in the communities are the one who conceive of their need, and the resources development resources is put at their disposal, and they go ahead to use it to meet their development need. This is unique. It is unique, and that is the secret of the success of CSDP.
In the implementation of CSDP, the federal government seeks and obtains financial assistance from the World Bank and lends it to participating states. It does so through the Federal Project Support Unit, FPSU. In actual fact, the head of the Federal Project Support Unit is identified as the National Coordinator, Community and Social Development Project.
CSDP has a very organized structure, from the federal to the state to the local government and down to the community. And over 90% of our structure is institutionalized by law. We have legal backing. All our 30 participating state agencies are set up by law, passed by the State House of Assembly. So there is legislation and there is funding support also, both from the state government and then, as it is now, from the World Bank. At the local government level, we have our local government review committee. They are also backed by edits, by law set up by the local government.
CSDP in the northeast is an objective reality, a conspicuously live endeavor, the realization of dreams of many communities who hitherto believed it won't happen. The program intervenes in 8 sectors: water, health, education, and transportation, among many. Again, as far as the northeast is concerned, the very poor, the vulnerable, and the internally displaced persons are at the heart of the initiative. Adamawa State was one of the earliest states in the northeast to join the programs of the CSDP. Their relationship spans 10 years or more. In that wise, their experience on how their communities maintain their micro projects can influence communities in other states who joined the program late.
We tried to see that, we informed them the importance of sustaining these projects. We told them that this project belongs to them and that they should take it dear. And then secondly, we reached out to sister organizations for collaborations, for synergy, where we are like now, for example, to the N-ship.
The people of Adamawa State called Belechuiti a New London. It couldn't be anything less. This is a rural settlement in Fufuro local government area of the state that 10 years ago was just so rural. In the usual process of a CSDP, they applied for grant to electrify their community. It happens for them. From then on, the people have increased in social and economic activities. The master stroke, however, is that a philanthropist took advantage of their electricity and built an industrial borehole for them. You talk of a multiplier effect on account of what the CSDP has done differently for the people of Belechuiti.
And that is precisely what the national coordinator of the program is saying. That yes, there has to be a synergy, there has to be a cooperative where individuals, corporate organizations should partner with them so that as much as they provide facilities for people for their own benefit, they can as well obviously provide a multiplier effect so that the people can continue to benefit and of course the project can last longer.
The multiplicity of challenges of rural communities, poor communities in Nigeria, demands that single interventions such as you supported them with electricity, supported with water, will not be holistic enough to help them to alleviate the poverty in a very sustainable way. So they need to reach out to other partners, other donor partners, other government agencies that can also complement and come with additional service after the initial one done by CSDP is very, very key. And we are seeing a replication of that idea here now. After the provision of the electricity in this community, now somebody has come to give them a borehole, industrial borehole, for animal and then human consumption.
The New London maintains a comprehensive healthcare center too on account of their relationship with the CSDP. The center is equipped with the adequate personnel who in fact have a staff quarters close by from the CSDP grant to allow them settle with their family members. The primary healthcare center runs 7 days a week. The people of the community told how they covered distances with their sick-to-sick Medicare before. It is all over now, except in exceptional cases. You talk of a New London. Community leaders and their subjects were ready with the kind words in all areas we visited in Adamawa for the contribution or for the support of the CSDP. But perhaps the biggest fan of the CSDP in Adamawa is the executive governor of the state himself, Umar Fintiri.
We found the project of CSDA to be very laudable and in consonance with the development idea and projection of this government. The CSDA have benefited about 190 communities in Adamawa, cutting across 14 local governments, and critically taking care of 7 local governments that are affected by these insurgents: Madagali, Michika, Mubi North, Mubi South, Maiha, Hong, and Gombe. So you can see that by ratio, if you take the 190 communities that have benefited from the 447 micro projects which are cut across 8 sectors of the economy: the health, water, rural electrification, agriculture, and support for the vulnerables. It has really impacted on our people, and it deserves the support of this government. That we have also created a new ministry that will address these needs. So the CSDA project, partly or wholly supported by World Bank and the federal government, I think has really addressed these needs and the requirement of our people.
How several communities in Adamawa maintain their micro project is an exciting insight on the CSDP.
Get the impression that the program will end in June. The program will not end in June. The program is a program of the state government, of the federal government, supported by the World Bank. the agencies that are implementing, particularly at state level, are agencies of state government established by law. The staff that are operating these projects in each of the states are staff engaged by the state government. So they will all be there after June. The agency will be there. It has its life documented in a law of the state. It will be there after June. What happens after June is that this round of financial support from the World Bank will come to a close. There has been several rounds of support. In fact, the project, as you know, is more than 10 years. So there has been rounds of financial support. The latest round of financial support will end in June. So ordinarily, we will expect that the way the project has been accepted, managed by the state government, they will continue to run it. And they might ask the World Bank for further assistance in addition to their own resources.
It's an appeal we'll continue to make. We do not think that this June 2020 should be the end of CSDP. We expect that this project should be sustained and more resources committed from the federal government and from donor partners towards providing this development and meeting the needs of people at that level. Not just their social and infrastructure need, but also some form of socioeconomic need, livelihood support need that can percolate and trickle down to the poor so that they'll have even resources to send children to school, have resources to attend the health centers beyond the base transfer and even the conditional cash transfer that we are currently getting from support from the World Bank, from the federal government and of course World Bank and other support.
If the project goes beyond June, there is hope for the hundreds of communities who applied to be supported by CSDP, but whose request is still pending. With some months of the closure deadline, though, some communities stand a chance of still getting a project of their own in their community.
Government has clearly stated this ambition. I want to sustain the gains of this program like CSDP and others. I want to build and scale on these gains. I want to lift 100 million people out of poverty. And I also want to do this with an overall human capital development agenda. So the institution is being set up. The systems are being developed. The programs are out there, like CSDP. CSDP ends in June. What next for it? Our ambition is to continue on the gains, to scale. And then when we are consolidating on this gain and scaling, what is the implications for the government? The government is then to fund it.
Even if the CSDP programs end June, the national coordinator at CSDP feels states and local government can adopt the CSDP model in delivering development programs to their people, since it proves a workable paradigm. He is not alone on this line, though.
This paradigm has been on the board now for more than 10 years. The paradigm of actually putting the resources in the hands of the poor to be on the driver's seat and manage the interventions by themselves and get the services for themselves over time, which is very strong in terms of ownership, very strong in terms of maintenance and all of that. It has been there for quite some time. I think it is high time that the state government begins to expose this paradigm to other sources of partnership. There are philanthropic organizations that can put their resources in this same program as well. There are private sector organizations that wants to do corporate relations and can put resources in this same structure. In fact, it is possible to coalesce many more of the interventions that government is doing on a supply-driven perspective into this paradigm and make sure that the leadership, the ownership, the commitment of this service delivery is by the beneficiaries themselves.
Given our field experience, CSDP has proven to be a critical model that not only touches lives, but also changes them. It proves to be a versatile endeavor too, with visibility across all areas in the Northeast and commended everywhere. It is like an appreciative community member said in Gombe, next to government, CSDP has touched more lives in the Northeast.